Good morning, everyone. So continuing on our reviews for the semester exam, now we are on Unit 3. Unit 3 was all about congruent triangles. So the first one, example 1, determine which method, and it has to be one of these four, can be used to prove that each pair of triangles is congruent. So let's start with the one on the very left. We have to look at the markings and see what we actually have. So we have an angle that has just one ring. Then we have another angle that has two rings. And then, of course, we have that one side that has a marking. So two angles and one side. When you look at your choices, this has two angles on one side, and then so does this one, two angles on one side. So you have to pay attention to the order that they're given to you in. So think of it as a circle. If you're going around, I have angle, angle, side. And then same thing here, angle, angle, side. So this is AAS. Okay, the next one, two triangles, and looking at the markings, we have one side that's congruent, we have a second side that's congruent, but then that's it, that is marked already. So I need to have at least two S's. So it might be this one or it might be this one because they have at least two S's. The other thing that is not marked but that we should know is this side in the middle. I'm putting 3 marks. It is congruent to itself. It belongs to both triangles. That's called the reflexive property. But otherwise, now if you look at it, 1, 2, 3, 3 sides. So side, side, side. Okay, next one. We have one angle with the one ring. I have another angle that has two rings. And then like the one previous to this one, this side belongs to both triangles, so it would be congruent to itself. So we have two angles and one side. Same as before, it might be one of these two, but you have to pay attention to the order. It is angle, side, and then another angle. Okay, and then on this one, we have that side as the marking, so we have at least one side. We have this angle with the one ring, and then in the middle, that side belongs to both triangles, so it is congruent to itself. So two sides and one angle, but when you go in order, so this is our triangle, you have to actually go in order this way. So side, angle, side. Okay, second one says given that STW is congruent to BFN, find the missing measures. So it's telling us that these two triangles are for sure congruent. That means that all of their pieces are congruent as well. So I'm going to do some markings on these triangles before we even start. Let's look at the sides. So ST is the first two letters, BF is the first two letters. So those two sides must be the same, ST and BF. So that would be this and this. Okay, second two letters, TW, second two letters, FN. Those two sides must be the same, TW and FN. And then last would be like the first and the last letter, SW, the first and the last letter, BN. Okay, so we have all the congruent sides marked. And then now I'm going to do the angles. And this one's a lot easier. So the order of the letters, S and B are both the first letters. So S and B. T and F are both in the middle. So T has to be congruent to F. And then W and N are both the last letters. Those have to be congruent. Okay, now that I have my triangles all marked up, answering these questions is going to be a little bit easier. So it wants us to find what BN is equal to. So here's BN. It has 3 little marks. So when you look at the other triangle, the one that has 3 marks, so BN must be 9. TW has 2 marks. So when you look at 2 marks on the other one, that has to be 14. And then BF only has 1 mark, so it's congruent to the one with 1 mark, 17. Okay, now the angles. Angle W is right here. We said that that's congruent to angle N. So if N is 82, then W is also 82. Angle B, we said that that is congruent to angle S. So they both must be 67. And then angle F is congruent to T, but neither one of those has a number. So we're going to have to figure this out. We said that, so before we said that N and W are the same. So I know that this is 82. And we also said that S and B are the same. So this one over here has to be 67. So when you have a triangle and you already know 2 of the measures, it's easy to find that third measurement just by subtracting from 180. I'm going to write it here on the side. You would do 180 minus 82 and also minus 67. We're subtracting the 2 angles that we already have. And when you do that math, let me put in the calculator really quickly. That gives us 31. So this last one should be 31, and T is congruent to F. So this one is also 31. Okay, number 3. So using that same rule that we know that triangles are equal to 180 degrees, they want us to solve for X and then also find the measurement of each angle. So all 3 angles are labeled with a little expression. We're going to add all of those together and make it equal 180. So 5x minus 2 plus 9x plus 3 plus 11x minus 21 is equal to 180. We're going to combine like terms. So all the ones that have x's, we're going to put together. 5 plus 9 plus 11 gives me 25x. And then now all the ones that don't have an x, so negative 2 plus 3 minus 21 would give us negative 20. And then that still has to equal 180. I'm going to add 20 to both sides. So 25x equals 200. And then divide by 25. So x has to equal 8. But now that we know that x is 8, we're just going to plug 8 into every single angle. So for angle D, 5 times 8 minus 2, that gives me 38. For angle E, 9 times 8 plus 3 gives me 75. And then last up, for angle F, 11 times 8 minus 21. That's 67. And then if you want to make sure that you got this right, you can add them all up and make sure that it equals 180. That's 5, 6, 7. Yes, and that would equal 180. Okay, and then the last one. Oh, by the way, before I forget, this problem is the last problem that's on the warm-up. It's the same exact one. So to finish the warm-ups for this week, make sure that you copy that over. Okay, solve for x, then find each angle measure. So this one's a little bit different because I know that inside of the triangle needs to equal 180. So here's my triangle. I only have two of those angles because that 18x minus 15, it belongs to this outside part. Belongs to outside of the triangle. So the other rule that you have to remember is that those outside angles, so 18x minus 15, it's equal to the two inside angles that it's not touching. So it can't be this one, but it's equal to those two. So we're going to add those two up. Okay, and then solve it like the way we did the previous one. So on the left, I'm going to leave it the same. But on the right, I have two that have x's, so that would be 17x. And then two terms that are constants. That's minus 10. I'm going to subtract 17x from both sides. 18 minus 17 is just 1, so I'm going to write x. Okay, and then we add 15 to both sides. X equals 5. Okay, and then now that we know x equals 5, we're going to find all of these angle measurements. This one, they're using 3 letters because they're being super specific about their angles. So those 3 letters, C, A, B, that means that they're talking about this angle here. So 13 times 5 minus 11. That gives us 54. Okay, now this one, ABC, ABC. So that's this one. We're going to have 4 times 5 plus 1, and that gives me 21. Now BCD, here's BCD. So they're talking about this outer one. So that's 18 times 5 minus 15. And that gives us 75. And then they want ACB, ACB. So that's this part in the inside. There's no label that I can plug into, so I can't just plug in the 5. But we do know that this outer part, BCD, that's 75. And right here is a straight line. So to find that one, you just have to do 180 minus 75. And that's going to give us 105. So that is what that angle is. Okay, that's it for Unit 3. And just like the other units, this part is for your review, and you're going to be able to use this on the semester exam. This, starting from here, this is practice. You don't have to do it for a grade, but if you want extra credit, there is an assignment in Schoology with these 4 problems in it.